Hey guys, I choose to know where the camera is on this. Okay, I am Sharnael Wolverton. My name is Sharnael Wolverton-Sehon. I'm an naturopathic doctor and your team leader. Some of you may or may not know that. Today, I choose to talk to you guys about limiting belief systems and how to shift those. I want to make sure that I'm live here. Team Swiftfire, am I live? Let's see, am I? For those of you who are in this team group as well, I just posted some social media tips for you guys, and so I hope that you guys can enjoy those and share them with your team, post them in your groups. Hey Sylvia, am I in the Team Swiftfire group? I choose to know. Can anyone tell me? Let's see, I'm gonna make sure I'm posting in the right place here. Am I live in the Team Swiftfire group? Can someone verify that I'm in the correct group right now? Let's see. Anybody? Hey, Jacina. Can you tell me if I'm in the Team Swiftfire group? All right, let's look. I'm looking on my phone, making sure. Okay, good. All right, so today I want to talk to you guys about shifting negative patterns in your life. I hope that this will be helpful to you. This has been something that has been an ongoing thing for me. And we just got off a team call with all of our goals and above regarding shifting patterns and belief systems. Because if you're seeing anything negative in your environment and or recognizing any noticeable negative patterns that keep seemingly popping up, that's something that we are creating. That's something you and I create. And so it's time for us, as we recognize, first of all, to be able to recognize anything that isn't lining up with God, any limiting belief systems that may be here, and be unable to identify them. The scriptures say, let the weak man say, I am strong. It doesn't say, let the strong man just be strong all the time and remember that he's always strong, although that would be super great. But part of shifting the pattern is actually to even know what pattern needs to be shifted. And I think that a lot of times in the past, people, including myself, would see these patterns and not really identify that they're not good for us or even be able to know how to shift them properly. I have been to multiple prayer people, pastors, and lots of different inner healing type, theophostic, whatever situations, looking for ways to shift my patterns. And I have now remembered and found the best way to do that very quickly too, in a miraculous, awesome way. And so over the last 2 or 3 weeks, I have found myself in a new level of remembering and identifying some hidden belief systems that had been creating patterns that I didn't necessarily like. And I was able to speak to the Lord and ask God within me, what are these patterns that keep showing up? And what's the belief system behind that? Because everything that we see in our world is something that we create because of something that we believe and have consented to. If you see it in your outside life and you are seeing patterns, whether it's through different people, different situations, through finances, health, what have you, if you keep seeing those same things reoccur and you're not liking them, then you have to look at yourself and say, what is it that I am believing that keeps creating this? Because again, your energy from your heart is the highest feeling that and produces the most frequency. And as you think and feel, even if it's underneath that you're not even realizing that you have, that vibe and that code goes out, and then you get a match, whether you are cognitive of that or not. So let's take today and recognize. Let's recognize any false unbelief systems that we may have and actually recognize them, reform them, rescript them, change them up, rewrite the script So our new belief system can be here and coming out in us through our world, and we're seeing new patterns. Now, I'm going to be super ridiculously raw, and this is not always super exciting for me to be so transparent. And I'm choosing to do this because I'm choosing to know and see if there's anything that hits a target for you, as far as maybe some hidden things that you have come into agreement with and or consented to, that you may be able to relate to. Yes, cancel ridiculous. It is what it is. And so I first spoke with my team leaders about this and was very transparent. And to my surprise, the very things that I have had come into agreement with and consented to and were seeing patterns with, I wasn't the only one. I mean, we went one by one just now and talked to the leaders, and it was interesting, to say the least, to see how many people actually felt the same way I did. And I never would have guessed it by looking at these leaders and seeing what they have accomplished in their lives, to know and to see and to hear their voice and to hear their feelings and their emotions behind what they were speaking was surprising to me. And you may be surprised too to hear what I'm about to say. So I'm choosing to do this and be raw because I choose for you all to upgrade with us. And I choose for you all to maybe take some time, especially with Easter. This is Resurrection Sunday tomorrow, y'all. Resurrection Sunday. It's time to resurrect truth and to be light. And, what we spoke about in the class earlier was that sin is anything short of the target. Sin, by definition, is anything less than love. And, we had some basic commandments to follow as we were given instructions from the Lord, these 10 commandments. But in the end, in the New Testament, we're told to love God with all our heart and to love one another. Love is the royal law. And everything should come from love. Everything should be love. Every thought should come from love. Every word should be spoken from a place of love, of already being loved and being love. Being loved and being love. And as we speak those things and be those things, then that frequency is heard and felt and honored and appreciated and accepted. And so I hope this is helping some of you. But again, so raw alert, spoiler alert, this is going to be raw. So I'm going to be honest. The last 3 or 4 weeks, I have really contemplated and I think in the past made some justifications for why I haven't ranked up. Why even some numbers that we have had in the past have continued to stay at a standstill. Why reactivations were falling off. Like we have enrolled quite a few people and have added people to the group, and then we've had people fall off at the end too. And so it's been this, and I choose for us to go forward and to keep going forward and to maintain and stay with all the people that we started with. And I choose for you guys to help in that by looking in your downline and really helping and loving and maintaining your people and making sure that when they're about to go inactive, that we are making sure that they reactivate and stay. And I have, again, looked at some personal issues as well, not just in the business, but with whether it's health or finances or love or relationship or family. Finances, again, I said that twice, rank, business, ministry. I choose for all of us to see truth, to know truth, to experience truth, and to experience all of these things with love and through love. And that love would be the foundation of all those things. So in my conversations to myself, I'm, again, honest. I had posted something maybe 3 weeks ago, and whatever I posted, somebody posted a comment on that was pretty not very supportive and not super nice. And my response to a comment that someone had written was, in the past, I may screenshot it and send it to my closest friends, or send it to my husband, or show my husband live and go, oh my gosh, look what this person wrote after my video, or what this person wrote after my post. And if it was negative, especially, would see inner dialogue with myself in this. And that kept happening. And of course, anything that we focus on, you make room for. So if my attention is on the one or two negative comments, and that is something that I show other people and bring other people into that energy, then I'm making it bigger. And that's not a good positive thing to do. And so when I really looked and dug deep in what was my belief system about being in the spotlight, or being a person of influence, or being center stage, I realized that I hated some of the comments. And when I realized real eyes, whatever you hate, you get more of. So I was hating ignorant, confusing, disappointing, unloving comments, and not only hated it, but spread it and showed people on my team or my best friends or a family member and made it bigger. Not a good idea. And then I had to sit and ask myself, well, what am I believing about this? And I realized that I had a subconscious belief system that when I am seen, when I am in the spotlight, when I am high ranking, when I'm a person of influence, when I'm in charge, when whatever, that I am a bigger target for negative things. Yes. And to be more specific, I had a recollection of a saying that someone had drilled into me by the church, no judgment, that with new levels come new devils. That's not the best belief system. How many agree that that's not really a good belief system to have? And it's not something that the church should be agreeing to or consenting to. It's not something that any of us should consent to. And I looked at Brian and I showed him this text and I said, what if this is the thing that's keeping me from growing in my rank or growing with my team, is me hating these comments and me agreeing and believing that as I grow and get more influence, that I'll be a target for negative energy, and I'll be a bigger target for people to hate. Haters gonna hate, cancel. And so I quickly reevaluated and rescripted, and my new belief system and my new standard is that as I shine my genius and as I shine my light and as I stay in love, that I am a bigger target for love. I'm a bigger target for support. I'm a bigger target to be celebrated and honored and respected and accepted, and that I am, and that God is in me fully. Because and even in these scriptures, Jesus died on the cross for us, who he himself was rejected. And guess what? The new resurrection of that is I am accepted and he is accepted in me. We're all accepted, and we're not just accepted. We're not just enough, because I don't like just being enough. My new belief is that I am celebrated, I am honored, I am valued, I am cherished, that what I have to say, what you have to say, is accepted and loved and rejoiced in, that what you have to bring to the table as you shine, you, all the earth and universe had to do so much to get you here, your fingerprints, your perfect DNA, all the choices that were made just for you to be alive and to be here right now in this season and time, why not be truth and love while you're here? Why not expect the best and be the best and transfer the best? So I am highly valued. I am honored everywhere I go. I'm a bigger target for miracles. I'm a bigger target for love, the more influence and genius that I walk. That is my truth. And I'm confident in that truth. My confidence brings me peace. My genius and my shiny, brilliant, awesome, loving self supports my team and loves my teams and sees all of you in victory as well as you share your genius and you expect your support, your targeted support, your love, your wonderful comments, your followers that follow you, that come to your meetings, your teams that come and show up because leaders show up. I made a list of some other things that we may actually come into agreement with and consent that aren't necessarily good. But again, let the weak man say I'm strong. One of the other belief systems that I had come into agreement with, because of some negative past situations in my life, is that when I have money, people steal from me. People take advantage from me. People use me. And that is not a good belief system. Is it true and in the facts happened? Yes, it has in the past happened. And the more that I stay in that and the more that I believe that and the more that I consent to that, I continue to create that and I'll be right. And so my new belief system for right now and beyond is that as I am an influence and as I create more finances through me, and as God is given me my ranks up and given us more finances, that I am celebrated and supported and generous with my giving. That again, I'm honored, I'm valued for when I give, I'm loved for my financial status, and I'm supported in my financial status, that I'm celebrated in my financial status. I had a opportunity to invest in a certain particular real estate situation, and it was more for fun, it seemed, and instead of like something that would seem logical. And I didn't want to tell anybody because I thought that people would think that that's a bad idea, or that I was actually almost embarrassed to have fun or to do something joyful or fun or something that was in my heart. And that's not a good thing to do. It's okay to have money, even though maybe the church in the past, in my settings, have seen money, the love of money isn't good. But having money is good. To be a place to be able to give freely and to have abundance is awesome. We're supposed to be the head and the tail, the head, not the tail. But I have seen churches and or pastors and ministries in the past where it's almost a badge of honor to not have. And I just don't agree with that anymore. My new truth is that I am a magnet for provision. I'm already provided for, and I have an overflow abundance for whoever God calls me to give to or to direct to or to invest in. And I'm thriving abundance now in all of my activities and all of my thinking and all of my speaking and all of my everything. And I shine in my genius of my thriving finances. And I see all of you shining in your provision, in your health, in your thriving harmony in your family, whatever it is, you fill in the blank. And I consent to and agree to all of your upgrades and your truth and your honesty of where you are and where you choose to be. Because again, let the weak man say I'm strong. You have to first identify where you may be, quote, stuck and where these unbelief systems can be and what patterns they have created in the past for you to actually change the script up. When sin happened in the garden, sin was Adam and Eve choosing to do things outside of God. And when they did, the consequence was, okay, now God's outside. But the reconciliation, and when Jesus came back and died for us and was resurrected, that gave us access to him again. That gave us Holy Spirit. He went to the kingdom of God within here, and now we all have access here fully of everything that he is. It gave us reconciliation. It gave us access to provision, health, miracles, divinity. And if you didn't listen to the call that I did with Nick, I really encourage you to do that. But sin is separation. Sin is seeing God as an outside entity. Union is living true. Union and realizing to be, having him fully in us and working through us, through all those things. That's what truth is. That's what union is. It says that we're supposed to remember communion every day. And I say moment to moment, to stay. It's a habitation, that we are the temple. He's within us fully. It's not just a part-time, when we think about it, God's in us kind of deal. I am love, which is God, and I stay. I'm not saying I'm God. I'm saying God is in me fully, and I stay to be. And there's plenty of videos on to be or not to be. If you are 90% full on God, then you're still not full on God. There's 10% here of doubt or fear or whatever those things are, then you are going to still create patterns that are less than God. And anything less than God or less than love isn't full on and isn't seeing the miracles that we're supposed to be doing here. We're supposed to be the hands and feet. He has called us here to project him, to project him out, to duplicate, to demonstrate, to be a demo of him. And when we are walking in anything less than what he truly is fully, then we're going to see patterns that are less than, and that are a little bit more human and a little bit less than God. So my recommit to you is that I am accepted for my genius, and I am celebrated in my influence. I am celebrated in my genius and my shiny love. I am celebrated in my provision and my already provided for an abundant place. And I welcome any of you and all of you to reevaluate where your belief systems have been that have produced maybe some outcomes that you haven't chosen. Or actually, you've chosen them. But now do you choose to recreate something different, something positive, a new pattern? I've heard different statements of, I always get sick around springtime, cancel. Or I can't seem to get better, cancel. Have you given yourself permission to actually be full on health and to remember divine health? That's the question for you. Some other belief systems that you may have come into agreement with, that, and I'm sure there's a million more, but I have these few that I could think of that I wrote down. When I present the information with Young Living, no one will choose it. Maybe you're already agreeing and consenting to that if you do a class, then no one will show up. Or that if you offer someone to get a kit, that they're not going to want to get it. Or that it costs too much. If that's your agreement, then guess what? That's what you get. Again, when I do meetings, no one shows up. Or my leaders don't support me, cancel. When you have that agreement and you're vibing out to the world that you're not fully supported, that you're not fully God supported, guess what? That's exactly what you get. You're going to be right. If you think people will not buy the kit because it's too expensive, then you're right. They won't. If you have the idea that everyone already in the whole world has Young Living and that there isn't anyone else to join because it's been inundated and there's no one left to talk to about it, guess what? You get that. You'll start attracting a lot of different people who are already in Young Living and won't be interested in joining your team because they're already in a team. So how about that there's like 7 billion people on the planet and there's only 1 million people in Young Living. That means by definition, there's 6 billion people that are still up and ready to join with you, and that you're attracting all of them now, and that they are ready, fully financed and open to truth and all in to join with you because you're love and you're shining and you're light. What else are some other things? When I have money, people will take advantage of me, cancel. If I'm seen bigger or if I rank up, then I'm a bigger target, cancel. I never fit in. I've always been somewhere in the middle, cancel. How about I am accepted and celebrated and honored everywhere I go. I'm cherished. God's love flows through me. And there may be a couple people in your life who trigger these conversations more, or these thought forms more than others. What I have done and practiced as of late is when I knew I was going to have to see that person or those people or be in a situation where I was about to do a class or whatever, I would actually picture myself in full love and in full light, and that my light would emanate out. God's light and love through me would just project out, and it would touch whoever that person is and go to their heart, and that light would fill them, and then that light would come back to me, and that there would just be this exchange of light and love already before I even saw the person in real life. I would do this in my mind and just imagine it, whether it was I got to see this person talk to him on the phone, or see this person in real life, or be on stage, or sending out a video. I see myself already sending light out to those people who are going to hear and hear with God's ears, see truth, feel truth, understand truth, be truth, accept me already, honor me already, support me already, post positive, beautiful, loving comments, share, tag, whatever, you fill it in. So this is something that you guys can practice. And again, I'm asking you to dig deep and to look into what areas of your life have you consented to something less than what God would think or feel or talk about or dwell on and have inner dialogue with. We have to pay attention to what's going on inner, because everything that you create within your mind, all that inner dialogue matters on the outside. And I have tons of scriptures that support that. I choose for you to read the book Awaken Sleeper, The Game of Life, and Awaken Imagination by Neville. Read anything Neville, because whatever you imagine, you create, even if it's in your thoughts, and especially in your thoughts. You're going to create it one way or another, so why not let it be positive? Why not we recreate and re-script new belief systems that give us better, more loving patterns back to us? So I hope this helps you guys. I encourage you guys to use different oils like surrender and believe and acceptance in this period of time. White Angelica is a really good one. In the past, I was sharing with my team earlier on the call, I used to look, I never really dug into using acceptance or surrender. I even thought of surrender as a negative word, actually, because I'm not a quitter. Cancel. But when I see surrender now, and I've been using the oils acceptance and surrender, what I'm consenting to, what I'm surrendering to, what I'm accepting is God and me fully. I surrender all. I empty myself completely, and I remember Him fully in me. I surrender any limiting belief systems now, and I re-script what God would think and what God would see and what God would feel and what God would hear in the situation. I accept God and me fully, because I cannot be accepted by anyone else if I don't accept me the way I am, and I don't love me the way I am, and I don't see perfection in me. I choose for you to see perfection in you. I choose for you to accept you and to remember your acceptance and your celebration and your honor and your value right now, today. White Angelica is great that you wouldn't take any negative energy on. Sage is really good too. Sage and White Angelica is great. And I have been inundated with people who have sent this "I am more than enough" or "I am enough" statements with their bracelets and their t-shirts and their hats that say "I am enough." I don't consent to that. I'm celebrated. God wouldn't say I'm more than enough. That's just my feeling. Enough isn't enough for me. I am exuberantly celebrated. I am honored immensely. My genius shines, and I am accepted, honored, loved, cherished. And I enjoy being cherished. I enjoy that my investment to you and to my world is accepted, loved, honored, and cherished. So if you had come to me and said, I make this blank amount of money and it's enough, but I want a little bit more, I want more than enough, that specific declaration and or consent can give you one more penny next year. And that's not enough for me. I choose abundance. I choose overflow. I choose provision and provided for in all circumstances of every part of my life, whether it's my ministry, my business, my wellness center that's already built, my family, my thriving, harmonious family, my thriving, harmonious health, my divine health. And so I do encourage you again to take some time and look to see what's going on in your world. Because if there's anything negative that's happening around you, it's a mirror for you to look at. So you can go, oh, God's just showing you, holding up this mirror so you can see, oh, wow, this is being created because of something I believe. And reevaluate what it is that you have believed and or thought about and or had inner dialogue about to make that happen. Everything is an inside job. You have power to create. You are a co-creator with the guy who created the entire universe, and we're still creating one way or another. There are no idle words. The scripture says every idle word will be given account in the day of judgment. The issue is there are no idle words. In the day means now. It's not someday after we die. It's now. It comes right back to us. And in the day of judgment, judgment means the law. And when I looked up idle, it just means words that don't bring life. So yes, words that don't bring life, you'll be judged on. But guess what? You'll be judged on the things that are positive too. You can have positive consequences. So the more that we remember and who we are, what we're doing, and Him fully to be or not to be, that is the question. But as we are and remembering, reminding, and living full as we do have that access because of Easter tomorrow, we get to choose our life. We get to create our life. We get to co-create what our new reality is. And my new reality is I am a Royal Crown Diamond or better. That I have investments all over that are producing abundant income monthly. That all everything that I'm required of, with whether it's finances, health, harmony, peace, joy, happiness, provision, health, all those things, that everything is here already for me to create and for me to experience and to see and to enjoy. Outcome map, do your treasure maps. There's a lot of different things. Get with your team and have a little group agreement time. I encourage you to do that. I just sat down with my daughter who just read The Game of Life. She's 17 years old. She read The Game of Life. I encourage you to do that. I love my little monkey. She has been creating miracles all over the place and enjoying seeing her miracles. And so she came up to tell me about the miracles that she had just created. And we sat down and we wrote out a few miracles that we chose to all come into agreement with as a group. It was Brian, him, and I. And we all came into agreement that we chose to see these things. You know, and we named them. We're like, and we wrote, I enjoy getting a phone call saying that my apartment or my house is rented out, and that we're already receiving monthly income from that apartment, from that house. But there's several different ones, and they've all come to pass as we have held that collective space of agreement and already seen it and experienced it in our minds over and over again and replayed it. Then we got it. We created that together. I would suggest get with your teams and see what is it that you have had limited space about. What is it that you've created negative patterns with? What are your beliefs that are creating these things? And get with your teams and identify what the less than is, what sin is in your life. And I say sin, meaning you've missed the mark. The word sin means to miss the mark, to not be, and remember fully, union. Sin is separation. So look where you've been separate. Look at what you've talked about that may have been separate. Look at what you've thought about that may have been separate. Look and see what's going on in your world that seems a little bit disjointed, and ask God to help you see and perceive how he would see the situation and to rescript it to create some great and glorious, miraculous splendor, new patterns in your life. And I vote your victory. If any of you care to share your personal subconscious, now conscious belief systems that have got you where you are, please feel free to inbox me and tell me how you choose to recreate the script. So I can vote your victory. But get with your teams, get with your family, do whatever you choose to recreate your new world. I hope this has been helpful for you. Get your belief, get your acceptance, get your sage, get your surrender, douse it on, and remember, hope too. And I vote you guys' victory. I love you guys. Have a wonderful Saturday and a wonderful Easter. Talk to you soon, all right? I love you.